Not late. Not late. It's energy drink talk today, by the way, too. And not late. Okay, so where do we begin? All right, I need a breather for a second. Oh my God, Al says I look rested. I am not rested at all. It's 0.0 minutes late. Song's a good song. Makes me angry in the morning. I knew King Kong would like this song, and I knew he'd be joining. Swing batter, swing. Swing for the fences. Okay, enough of that. So, How to Bachelor, new show with Corey. Yes, there is a new show, but we're gonna get to that in a minute. But that's not really what we're here for. You're probably wondering what the subject. Well, first of all, good morning, and I hope everyone had a really good Valentine's Day. Kim and I had a lot of fun on the live stream. It was cool. It was cool. It was a good time, and I will tell you that the whole day yesterday after that, we were wicked hurting, like hurting bad. That stuff was potent. I will say this, don't do something like that on an empty stomach. Just don't. It's really stupid too. We had a light breakfast, like we hadn't had enough to eat, and her and I were hurting the whole rest of the day. We were more hurting from our stomachs than like the hot sauce. The hot sauce dissipated obviously, but it was bad, like really, really, really bad. But anyway, just word to the wise, just don't do that. Don't do that. So yeah, so there's been a lot of stuff going on, like a lot of stuff going on in the community and everything. And this, it's weird. I don't remember, what did I name this episode? I think I named this episode, "Is This the End of the Road?" or something like that. So I don't mean it to be negative or mysterious. So what does that mean exactly? What is this the end of the road mean? I think all right, I'm going to recap some things before we get to some stuff. I've been doing this for YouTube for, let's say, it's almost coming up on 2.5 years. And so, this, by the way, I don't want, like, this isn't a whole sympathy thing or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. It's just that when you do this, when you decide that this is what you want to do or something you want to do, whether it be a hobby or whatever, it consumes ridiculous amounts of time. And I saw Sling Spade said something in the chat earlier. I'm not stopping doing YouTube. So just, we could take that off the table, but I need a break. Like I really, really do. But I need a real break, not a fake break where I say I'm taking a break and then I publish 3 videos, because that's not really a break. I really do need a break. And so I don't really know. I think Justin said I don't really know what that. No, I don't really know what that means. I can't remember what his trigger shot word was. I saw that, dude. If I can remember, I can't scroll up because I'm not using StreamYard, so I can't see what it was. But whatever. I just think it takes up so much time, and I don't know if sometimes on the other side of it, it's apparent how much time it really does take, and so. The factors in there are really, family. I have 2 kids, so it's family time. I'm newly married. It's wife time. It's all those things. I'm starting to feel immense amount of guilt in the amount of time I put into this that I'm putting on myself. I feel that. It's no one's telling me. Kim is super supportive. What she said in her wedding vows, if you saw it, is actually how she feels. She's super, super supportive. But I feel like I put too much time into into what I'm doing. And honestly, I'll tell you guys this is the God's honest truth, is that I really wanted How to Bachelor, take a break, get representation. Yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute. I really I kind of, and maybe it could have been a little pipe dreamish. I don't know. I thought by now, and I probably haven't done the right things and pulled the right levers, and I don't know the right people to talk to. But I kind of, in my mind, I had this dream that this could be like what I do, right? Like all I do, not gaming, not publishing videos about Arcade One Up, like that somehow I'd morph this into a job. And that's really tough to do, but I also don't know the right people to talk to do that, right? Because I thought it would be really fun because I really enjoy, yes, I like gaming and all that stuff, but I went to school for video production. I enjoy being in front of the camera. Like I like being on camera. And I feel like it's something I'm passionate about. Gaming's a good topic for me to talk about because I really love it, and arcades is a good topic about to talk about because I love arcades. So it's like one of those things where I just needed to find the thing to talk about. It's not a not it's not a not me, it's you speech. So yeah, so I don't know. There it is. It was I don't know. I think I don't know was his word. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know how to turn. Hobby Hand says totally understand. I turn my love into a job, but I work more than ever now. Yeah, I don't know what. There, I said it again. I don't know how you do that. I think that's everyone's dream, right? I think everyone would want to turn their hobby or passion into a job, right? I mean, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want, if you're doing your, I think this breakup is going to be long. There's no breakup. Justin's being silly. Don't listen to Justin. He does this thing in the chat where he'll like try to mess with you guys and then see how I react and then watch me get all uncomfortable and squirmish. But let's talk about that, right? So Justin and I have been doing ever since CES. I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent, but ever since CES 2020, believe it or not, the CES that Justin and I met was in 2020, which seems insane because 2020 was such a freaking crazy year, like terrible. But in the beginning, it started off awesome, right? Justin and I met each other. He wasn't 4'5" like I thought he was. He was actually tall. He came walking towards me, and I was like, that can't be Justin. He's like 4'5". It was Justin is not 4'5" 5" tall. He's actually tall. So yeah, so yeah, he's actually tall. I'm serious about that. He's not super short. I don't know why I thought he was short. I don't know. Just like I guess all his videos, he was kind of just sitting, but I sit all the time too. But I stand a lot in my videos, so you can kind of see that I'm not a super short guy. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, I'm digressing on that topic. Whatever. He's actually 4'6". Yeah, he's actually 4'6", so that's cool. So yeah, so we've been doing the One Up Weekly for a while, and I'm gonna say something. You know, if John D is watching, I'm sorry. This is just the God's honest truth, and I feel guilty sometimes, but I do work from home. Hobby Hens. Whoa, that's a crazy super chat. Thank you. He says, and I do feel guilty sometimes, but I work from home, so I do see my kids more than ever. Also, I do spend as much time. Hey, I'm 5'2". Hobby Hands, don't super chat again, but I'm curious what you do for your job that you turned your passion into your job. I'm curious. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, so like even the One Up Weekly, the true intent of One Up Weekly, even though it was called One Up, it wasn't meant to be Arcade One Up's show. It wasn't meant to be that. And I'm not saying that I hate the direction it's going, but it wasn't meant to be Arcade One Up exclusive show. So Justin and I are at this weird crossroads because it's turned into what I would say is an Arcade One Up exclusive show. And while I think that's cool, like if I think about how far Justin and I have gone, I really do love that we turned it into something really cool and a lot of people enjoy it. But I'll admit I haven't had as much fun on the last like 3 or 4 episodes. Like I haven't really been myself. If you go and watch, you can see it. If you know me well enough, you can see it on my face. I'm just not having as much fun as I used to. And Justin and I have talked about that. Like I'm not having fun. Like and in my crossroads of where I am with YouTube, I love that I love that I was able to build an audience up and that's all on you guys. Like it's awesome that you want to watch the stuff that I put on YouTube, but I'm loving doing the original arcade stuff because that's really what I'm passionate about. So it's not that I don't like the 3/4 scale stuff. If it wasn't for that, the hobby wouldn't be like, honestly, I'll say this is really cool. if there's something that's really neat about all of these companies that have popped up, Arcade One Up started this whole like rebirth thing, and then other companies followed suit. But the cool thing about all those companies existing is it's reborn this interest in arcades. So whether or not you just do the 3/4 and it never leads to full size, that's cool too, right? But the cool thing is there's this part of the population that has our community. We overuse community, but whatever. There's part of the community that has latched onto this, and they've used it as a springboard, and they were like, oh my gosh, I love this, I want to own my first real arcade. And there's a whole other slew of like things that go along with owning a real arcade. It's like you're almost like you become the arcade owner, right? Like you're like, oh, that one's broken. Like there's always one that's broken. If you have a series of arcades there's always one that's not working or not working the way you want it to. So anyways, so Justin and I think are at a crossroads where we have to figure out what we want to do with the One Up Weekly, right? I think we need to figure that out and pretty quick. So him and I are talking today about that. Maybe it stays the same, maybe it changes. I don't really know, but him and I are going to talk about that today, like probably for a while, to try to figure out what we want to do. And also, I think we were at a cadence where we were doing it weekly. So keep in mind the weekly thing. We're doing that weekly while he's doing his own channel. Well, he's restarted that, and then I'm doing my channel. So it's a lot of content. So we just need to figure out what changes to the One Up monthly. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys? Let me ask you guys in the chat. Did you? And maybe I'm totally oblivious to this. When Justin and I when we came up with that name, One Up Weekly, I was driving back from Vegas from CES. I think he was still there because I think he didn't leave till later on, or maybe the next day. I can't remember. And we were thinking of One Up, like arcades, the term One Up. So we weren't thinking of One Up, even though what we came to the conclusion of is, so on YouTube, what you want to have is you want to have your channel optimized for whatever content that you're going to put out into the world. So if let's say my channel was going to be exclusive at games. Well, if I keep pumping at games content out and I keep tagging it at games, after a while, not always, but after a while, if people are viewing it and they're giving it thumbs up, the algorithm starts to see like, hey, whenever Ralph does stuff, I'm going to show people that like at games Ralph's videos. So what we thought was, hey, the bulk of the people out there that have these home arcades are Arcade One Up fans, right? So let's call it that because it's an arcade term and because it really optimizes us for anything we do. Like, because most likely an Arcade One Up person is going to be interested in IA Arcade and interested in at games and interested in real arcades potentially and interested in gaming in general. So it seemed like a smart thing. But I'm just saying, does One Up in the name make you feel like the show is just about Arcade One Up? I guess put a 1 in the chat if you think because it's called the One Up Weekly that it's automatically only about Arcade One Up. Because maybe we're like, I don't know. Just put a 1 if you think that the One Up Weekly is literally just about Arcade One Up. Because we've talked about other stuff, obviously, and you guys know that. Yeah, see what I mean? So one might say that the show is really more about Arcade 69 Kong. I don't know what King Kong says 69. I don't know what that means. Yeah, so see, there's a lot of 1s. There's a lot of 1s in there to say that, hey, the show must just be about Arcade One Up then, right? So yeah, so I think that we built a channel that's optimized for Arcade One Up. That's what we did. Like how that came up, how that happened was probably organic, but we've done, in like the recent history, we've done lots of Arcade One Up content. But we did. Do you guys remember we did an episode when I pretended to be this guy, Future Ralph, who predicted all this stuff, which I'd love to go back and watch that because I think I predicted all these things about at games taking over the world and all this stupid stuff. but yeah, we've done a lot of fun things. We did the movie viewing thing. We've talked about pinball in the past. We've talked about lots of fun stuff, but more recently it's been mostly Arcade One Up. But anyway, so I think that's a decision that Justin and I need to make as to what that show actually ends up being, what it morphs into. And yeah, like we just need to talk about it. So we're going to talk about that today. Him and I are going to try to figure that out, because maybe it's at a point where, I don't know. I don't want to speculate, because then you guys will start speculating too. But well, you probably will already anyway. But I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. And I know the word was "I don't know" that Justin said. So yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, and I wanna apologize for something. Like it wasn't me, but you know, I really I like John. I think John is a good guy, and I think John's bit turned himself into like or morphed himself into the face of Arcade One Up. But there were a couple things, like like for instance, the last show that we had, there's things that I didn't know he was gonna say. Like, I think I know what he was trying to say, but I think he articulated a couple of things in a way that confused a lot of people and might have even made them like upset. And I don't actually blame them. Like the whole, if you didn't watch it, you can go back and watch it. But he used this like drug reference for for ROMs and things like that, and that was like actually kind of weird. I didn't think that was like appropriate, and it also seemed like, I don't know, it just seemed strange. Like I didn't, and I really like John. I just don't know where he was going with that. Like I think in retrospect, he would probably even rewatch that and say, all right, maybe that wasn't the way I wanted to say that or articulate that. Because guys, let's face it, ROMs and building your own PCs for emulation or other devices is part of the hobby. What wouldn't be appropriate is me trying to sell those, right? But I build them all the time here. I mean, I don't have them like in these arcades. I enjoy these arcades with original hardware, but do I have like 1,000 Pandora's boxes in my house, right? I have a ton of them. Those are all like, yeah, there's no legitimacy to a Pandora's box, but no one's going to shut them down. They're in China and they could give a rat's ass about American copyrights and they don't care about any of that. But I'm not turning it around and selling it either. You know what I mean? I'm not starting a business selling ROMs. So I kind of get what he's saying. I think he was trying to say like, yeah, a business shouldn't profit off of IP they don't own. I think that's what he was trying to say. But the drug thing threw me for a loop. Like it was just weird. And I would tell that to John himself. So yeah, so that was a little bit odd. So I think if I actually don't know why he's taking a social media timeout, but maybe that's why, because it was a little bit strange. Yeah, just like the driving cab behind me. Exactly. That driving cabinet has a bunch of games on it that are not licensed. so yeah, I mean, you can't avoid it in our hobby. That's the thing. Like, but I wouldn't fault you for buying a system that happened to have things that aren't licensed on it. If you went and bought it from, the thing is, so check this out. The company that sells that has been recognized by IGN. That one of their devices. So this is where it's like, okay, what area isn't gray? That company and many companies like it. So I'm not going to say the name of the company, but that company and many companies like it have been recognized by media outlets for products they sell. And it has like a Game Elf in it or a Pandora's box in it, all China boards. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, where's the line? Like the line is all over the place. So it's just like, it's too, like, this part of it makes my brain hurt, because when my channel was small, I didn't give a rat's ass about that. I was like, I just want to show people cool shit. My channel was literally, if you asked me what is your channel about, I'd go, my channel is to show people cool shit. Retro Ralph business plan. Show people cool shit, period. And I feel like I'm now just like, I feel like the walls are closing in. Like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't touch this, you can't touch that. And it's like, look, unless I'm getting paid by these companies, then screw that. Like, it's crazy. It's just like, I have a full-time job and kids, and it's like, I don't like this feeling of being confined, and it keeps happening. It's like I'm being constricted. It's like someone squeezing me. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. That's just enough's enough. Guys, you think about it, right? Think about it. If your hobby became not fun anymore, you wouldn't do it, right? I don't want that to happen because I love this stuff. But I'm feeling squeezed. I'm feeling like a python is like squeezing around my body. I don't want that. I want to have fun. Like, I was going to pull a bunch of clips of how I used to be on the channel. I was a maniac in the beginning when I did that. I want to be a maniac again. I want to be like I used to be. I was crazy. I didn't give a shit. I really didn't. I want to not give a shit again. I want to not give a shit again because that's when I'm having the most fun, you know? And I will say the other thing that's kind of like, oh, sorry, I know I'm swearing a lot. I don't know how to articulate it without swearing. And I don't, Justin, you really want me to talk about at games? I mean, okay, guys, the at games thing, me hating on them is fun. It's shtick, right? Like, I don't hate them. I just bought the pinball machine yesterday. I'm actually super stoked for the pinball machine. Would you invest in a company you hate? Like, if I really hated it, I wouldn't buy it, right? I bought the pinball machine. I'm actually wicked excited about it. I'm wicked excited about it. I'm so excited about the pinball machine. I am. I really am. But at the same token, right? Like, I hate how everyone's like comparing everything. You know, give me the one. Tell me which one I want to get. Tell me which one. It's still it depends. You know what I mean? It depends. But it's not like the war thing is just fun. You know, I was trying to like stir the pot and get the whole like Nintendo versus Sega thing going on between Arcade 1-Up and At Games. It was just fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's shtick. There's certain things that I actually was pissed off about. Like, I am pissed about certain things about At Games where like there's like kind of this double standard between content creators and At Games and Arcade 1-Up. Like, everyone can just trash Arcade 1-Up, but if you say something about At Games, there's like all these people that will come forward and sort of like shield you from that. But like they both these products, they're freaking toys, guys. Like, they're toys that we as adults like. And of course they're not going to be perfect because they're not commercial grade arcades. They're not going to be perfect. These were meant to be beat up to hell. Like, I wish I could take you guys in my garage. When we did the Pickers show, I got an arcade, and in the garage is one of those arcades. This arcade is an original Street Fighter II World Warrior. It still works. The coin slots still work. The counters still work. Everything about it still works. It's the original monitor, and it still works. It's been recapped, but it still works. Like, these machines, like, I doubt you're going to have an Arcade 1-Up or an At Games 25 years later that still works. I'm sorry. You're going to have dead pixels and your screen's going to be broken. Like, there's no way. They're not built like tanks like these things are. Maybe it'll still exist, but there's no way. If you've moved it, like, let's say in 25 years, you've moved houses a couple times or apartments or whatever, the wood's going to get all janky. It's going to be like... your arcade one. Actually, you know what? The only cabinet I'll say will probably still be standing will be the IA arcade. It's like Zhang did a good job with making that thing pretty bulletproof. So yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, I don't really know where I'm going now. I want to feel like it used to be when I first started it. And so I think I need a little bit of a break. You know, I'm not going away. I just need, you know, I'm doing the show. I'm doing that show with Corey. I'll run the trailer in a little bit. Justin and I, you know, as of right now, the 1-Up Weekly will continue. We just need to figure out in what capacity, right? We need to figure out in what capacity. But yeah, it's weird. So before I get back to the Pickers thing, it's weird because like we put, it's weird that there's I'm almost having a hard time talking about this one part because I don't want to talk about the person that does this the most, but there is a person that talks this talk track a lot. Like, these things are toys. Like, they are toys. I mean, they're part of like Toy Fair. They're toys. Same with At Games. It's a toy. Although I will say this, At Games is sort of building theirs a little bit non-toy. Like, they're investing in certain things that would take it out of the toy category, in my opinion. Being quite transparent. All right. Hobby Hens. I build acrylic displays. I have a shop in the back of the CNC. Professional photographer. Love retro stuff and have built several personal arcades. That's awesome. That's really cool. But yeah, they are cool. They're cool toys, right? So I enjoy them a lot. And for me, it kind of like, it's funny. I forgot where I was going with this. Shoot, where was I going with this? I don't know where I was going with this part. Oh yeah, there's people that compare them to like commercial grade arcades, which is it's like that's a stupid comparison, right? Like that is really a dumb comparison. Like I would love to do a thing where I would love to do a thing where we move. This would actually be a really funny skit. Is we treat an arcade one up and an at games, and like we get all these arcades and we like load them into a trailer. We load them in and out of a trailer, but we load them as rough as we would a real arcade and see what happens. Like I can't even imagine if I rolled. Okay, if I rolled a real arcade out of off of a trailer and like somehow it nicked a piece of like steel from the trailer, a real arcade might get a little chip. Like it might get a little chip. I bet you in that game arcade one up or something, like the whole bottom would rip off. You know what I mean? Like they're just not built. But that's okay. That's not what they're built for. But that's why I just think the comparisons are stupid. It's like I'm not sitting here saying that any of these things are commercial grade. Anyway, it's just a dumb thing. Like I don't even know why that's a thing. I don't know why it's a thing to talk about them that way. Like I feel like making a video and going, yes, the buttons are not as good as commercial grade arcades. You should replace them if you want commercial grade buttons. That's across the board on all of them. If you want good buttons, replace them. End of story. Don't even talk about it anymore. Yes, they are never going to put HAP competition sticks and HAP buttons. They're not going to. Done. They're not going to. They're going to use the Bayo Lane company that makes the knockoff buttons because they have to mass produce it. Like, I don't even know why it's a topic anymore. Like, people are like, he never talks about the buttons. Okay, cool. Ready? The buttons suck. The buttons suck. If you compare them to all these, they suck. If you compare them to these, they suck. There you go. End of discussion. Rerun that clip over and over again. If you compare them to commercial grade arcades, they suck. That's it. Like, people are like, that guy doesn't tell the truth about the buttons. He's being deceptive to his audience. No, I haven't actually. In all the past videos, my original videos, I said they sucked, and I replaced all of them all the time. Usually I never kept them in. I replaced them. So who cares? Like, it's just a stupid thing. So there's parts of me, why I'm going here, I have no idea. I'm going here because I feel like I'm a little frustrated with the community too. Like the 3/4 scale communities got weird. It got really weird. Not you guys. The like, there's a huge, I'm not calling anyone out. I'm saying there's this huge pool of content creators, gigantic, tons of them, right? That are talking about these products. But like, there's so much like misinformation or just crazy things. And like, it's getting sickening. It's almost, that's why I'm sort of pivoting back to the real arcades. It's kind of like, I'm over it. Like, how many times can I talk about the same thing over and over again? No, it's fun. What's fun is talking about the titles they want to put out. That's actually really fun. When we do those speculation shows, we're like, I wish they do this and I wish they do that. And you want to know why those are fun? They're fun because you guys are sharing games that were nostalgic to you. And then we all kind of reflect on the game. That's super fun when we do that. That's super fun when we do that. Because we're talking about like nostalgia is probably if there's one thing, you know what's so friggin' interesting about the 3/4 scale thing, how it blew up? When it blew up, we all started like reminiscing about the arcade we used to go to or the games we used to play. And that was super fun because everyone, we're all in that age group. Most of us, there's different age brackets. So there's like, there's like the Robotron 2084 age bracket, Joust, Defender. Then there's like Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct. I'm saying fighting games. And then there's like the more modern stuff. So there's like brackets, right? But there's something for everyone in all of these because they're releasing games in all of those like categories that would kind of transcend the age brackets. So it's really cool. Like that's super fun to talk about. But like sitting there and obsessing about what buttons and like I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted by my own videos. Like, oh, the buttons and joysticks are good. They'll get the job done. Who cares? They're all the same. The buttons are all the same. Next time I do an arcade one-up review, I'm going to be like, it's the same buttons. Same buttons. Replace them, okay? If you don't care, leave them. Will they work? Yes, they work. They work. But if your kid goes up to him and he's like, Dad, I'm trying to play Pac-Man, it's going to break. It's going to break. But you can do it to this. You can do that to that. I just literally rip that as hard as I can, and it's totally fine. Because it's a commercial grade product. If you did that to an arcade one-up, you'd lift it off the ground. Like, seriously. It's just crazy, dude. So I'm kind of annoyed by, like, I'm just annoyed by my own self. I'm annoyed by me. Oh, man. All right. So anyway, you guys probably think I'm going insane. Oh, man. But I'm having fun. This is fun. See, this is fun. Like, doing this is fun. We're talking real. It's fun. I miss this. And also, talking real isn't toxic or negative. It's just being real, right? Like, if I say that arcade one-up's buttons and sticks suck, does it mean I hate arcade one-up? No. It means I just think their buttons and joysticks aren't very good. Because my standard is arcade. Cool. But I'm going to be realistic with myself and know that they're never going to put HAP competition sticks or HAP buttons in their joystick. They're never going to put them in their systems. They're not gonna, because they can't make as much money. It's all about the money. And let's be honest, on the other side of the house, right? At Games has better joysticks and buttons. I actually really think that most people out of the box probably don't need to replace At Games buttons and joysticks. They really don't. They did a good job. They used higher quality replicas. And they're consistent. They're consistently using the same ones. So that's good. That's good. Now, why are they able to do that? The real reason why they're able to do that is because they don't have to pay the licensing fee to put the awesome artwork on the side. You know, they don't have to pay Marvel because it's including IP from X-Men or something like that. They don't have to do that. So they can afford to spend money in areas where Arcade 1-Up can't. That's probably, I don't know that for 100% fact that that's the reason, but that's what I would guess the reason is, because they don't have to pay these high fees, and they probably even, you know, so that's just the way it is. But there's people that want the cabinet to look a certain way, and they'll pay for that. So this was so worth me pushing. Edwin, thanks for the super chat. You shouldn't have done that. But that's what I think. I could be wrong there, but I think that on one hand, At Games, they're building higher quality products that maybe don't look as cool, and they maybe don't have the included games that Arcade 1-Up has, but they are investing in things that people care about, like the buttons, the joysticks, the screens, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll stop the shtick. I think their products are good, but like, you know, you're gonna need to bring your own games to make it equivalent, because a lot of the games you want are licensed on the Arcade 1-Up side, right? So they're not gonna go out of their way. You know, At Games is gonna make it a more affordable product. Ooh, gassy. They're gonna make it a more affordable product that maybe doesn't have those big IPs, but you can add them. You know, and that's the thing. They wash their hands of that. You know, like the community's doing that, so all good. Community, go do it. So yeah. So but then I'm like, okay, let's just say that it's just the community doing it, right? All right. Well, if the community's doing it, that's no different than me buying like a Sega Genesis Mini and someone coming out with a hack. You know, it's not Sega coming out with the hack, right? So you're like, well, does the company hold any responsibility there? Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but I don't know. No one's gonna shut them down for that, right? So I just think the whole, like, I kind of thought that the ROMs conversation, like ROMs have been around for so long that it's like, yeah, unless you're starting a business and your business is intended to sell, you know, games. Like actually, here's an interesting one. A lot of people that create artwork, right, in the community, Do you think that those people that create artwork have licensed artwork? Like, do you think that they actually go to those companies and license the artwork? Probably not, right? I don't think so. So, should we shut them all down? No. I mean, here's the thing. Most companies don't care. And yeah, there is no licensed art, right? I don't know. Like, the only companies I've seen care about licensed art, this is true. The only companies I've seen go after little guys for licensed artwork is pinball, actually. Companies, for some reason, the pinball IP, they don't mess around. Like, they are like, seriously, they will rip you to shreds, and Nintendo. Yeah. I'm sure if I started a company tomorrow and I made 3/4 scale Nintendo cabinets, like let's say I started a company tomorrow making 3/4 scale Donkey Kongs that looked exactly like Donkey Kong's exact replica, I'm pretty sure I'd get shut down in like 2.5 seconds, right? Probably. But yeah, Stern does not mess around, like hardcore. So much so that I have friends in the business that do the artwork. They won't touch pinball artwork. They won't even touch it because they'll get cease and desist. They'll get like shut down in 1 second. Nintendo too, they don't play. So I don't know. Natalie wants to talk about the MVSX thing. I don't think there's really much to talk about, to be honest. John D did something and I got attached to it, I guess because he's on the show. Like, I don't know. I was like kind of talking to Justin and I'm like, why didn't you get roped into it? Why was it me? Why did I get roped into it? Why couldn't it have been Ralph, Justin, and John D? I was like, I would have felt a little bit better if at least they tried to take you down with me. You know what I mean? But the problem is, the thing is, it's stupid. Like, okay, so John D went and complained, and I guess here's the story I know, and I don't know if it's all true. The story I know is, so John, in a public forum, reached out to the Bill guy who works for I guess Unico, right? He reached out to Bill as a mentor. This is the story I know, right? Don't shoot me as the messenger. This is the story I know. He reached out to Bill as a mentor and said, "Hey, you probably shouldn't be aligning yourself this way." And according to what Bill is saying publicly, it sounds like he appreciated that, although I'll say I don't think John should have done that in a public forum. If John wanted to reach out to Bill and mentor him, that should have been a private conversation. Okay, that's my opinion. I think it should have been a private conversation. Why the Hylo team went into escape mode, that part I can't understand. Like, I don't understand why John having a conversation with Bill about his alignment with the Hylo team made the Hylo team disappear. I don't get that. I mean, what do you guys think? Why would they disappear after that? I don't know. That part I just don't understand. Any thoughts on that? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the chat. I'm going to drink this. All right. David said it makes it almost make it look like John was shaming them. Threatened to sue. See, that I wouldn't know. I think Bill was the Hylo team. Okay. I think Bill worked, but wasn't there a public? Okay, but Jeff, you're just generalizing. John killed Hylo, but how? It's called industry pressure and legal action. John D taking out kneecaps. Sounds like he was strong-armed. Maybe John was threatening to sue. Wow, you John look bad for that. Wow, you John look bad for that. Visibility. I know, but who is the Hylo? You know what I mean? Like, they're probably, I would imagine any of these teams are just a bunch of like hobbyists, right? I actually don't know. Like, I don't know when, oh, so Kongs R Us says Chris Neo Sir, I can't say it right, but look like the Hylo team. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know who like when you go and look at these, I can't even remember the names of some of these hacks on like the mini consoles. Like, who are the people? Like, they're all over the place. So it's not like they're an entity. It's not like they're a corporate entity. They're like hobbyists, I think. Like, I'm sure the Hylo team isn't like their full-time job, right? They have a job and they do it on the side, just like all these other hack groups. So I don't understand, like who is, you know what I mean? Like, what would make them dissolve? And who are you suing? Like, who would you be suing? Like, I'm going to sue all these people. Like, there's probably people that are involved in the project that they're not even known. I don't know, whatever. So, anyways, here's the one thing that's funny. On one hand, the code is out there. Like it's not like the thing is dead. It might be dead for further development, but that part I don't understand. So, if there was other elements to the story, like behind closed doors, there was. I mean, Mike Lebinsky brings up a good point. I think Bill, who works for Unico, or I think he consults for Unico. I think he actually has a full-time job too. I think that's his side gig. I think he wants to do what John does. He wants to be a licensing guy, right? And so if there's a good part of the story, I think it's like, if there's a good part of this that I'm just trying to say, like, let's say I was Bill and I wanted to aspire to be a licensing guy, and someone came to me privately and said, hey, your alignment with this company or organization might hurt you because big companies like Nintendo or Sega or whatever, Konami, Midway, whoever, if they know that you're involved in that, they're not going to want to work with you. If that was the conversation behind closed doors, then I would be appreciative of that if that's where what I wanted to do for my career, right? That I get. Why everyone went scattering and running for the hills, I don't really get that, unless there's more to the story that we don't know. All right, he's the one that posted the... Yeah, yep, Neos. Yeah, he's in here. He's in here. So Neo Severa's in here. Yeah. So I don't know, like, oh wait, we were just normal dudes. I'm not a hacker. I had to hack and got the impression that I was doing. Okay, I missed his chat. It went through. But yeah, what I'm saying is everyone has normal jobs. They're doing work on these projects. I don't know why everyone's scattered, but there could be more to the story. So he'd probably know if there's more to the story. I was pinned as having involvement in this, which I didn't. But anyways, whatever, it is what it is. I don't care. Like, that part of it, people are going to do what they want to do. This is like the third time I've been like slammed for something. So I'm kind of getting used to it now. Like, you know what I mean? It was the I'm a shill here's so funny. How full circle is this? First, I was accused for being a shill for MVSX. And then now I'm being accused of being a shill for Arcade 1-Up. And then I'm also being accused for destroying the Hylo team. It's like, okay, so in one hand, you're telling me I'm trying to get people to buy MVSXs. Then you're telling me I'm trying to get that I'm literally I'm getting paid. Literally, guys, 3 months ago, people were saying I was getting paid by MVSX. Now I'm a shill for Arcade 1-Up, and I've destroyed the Hylo team. Like, it's crazy, but that's what happens when you do this publicly. When you do this kind of stuff publicly, people will say whatever. They're going to say whatever. But the thing is, no offense, guys. I'm not talking about you here. I'm just talking about the community as a whole. Like, people as a whole are very much, no one does research anymore. No one looks up anything anymore. If they see a headline, they jump on it. And it's a really interesting headline to say, John D and Retro Ralph took down the Hylo team. Yeah, that's a pretty, like, you know, not that I'm some big guy, but people in our little community know who I am usually. So saying that's like, well, man, like, and then everyone just follows suit and starts going crazy. Like, I got people that were emailing me like, F you took it down. I'm like, what? Yes, I took it down. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, I've only, the thin skin part, this whole like, yeah, nobody reads. Yeah, like the whole this whole thing that happened, and then the big blue front end guy who was telling me I was crazy because the MVSX doesn't run at 59.18 hertz. And do you guys know about that? Do you guys know about the 59.18 hertz thing? It's kind of funny. The guy took the video down after a while because he was a total douchebag, and I don't care. He was a total douche. I mean, just watch a couple of his videos. He's a douche. He's like big in the, like, apparently, here is one thing I will tell you. I don't care. I don't care if I get killed for this. I really don't. There's Neo Geo fans that are really cool. And then there's this underground of Neo Geo fans that are total and absolute dickheads. And I don't understand why. And I've talked to other Neo Geo fans and like, yeah, I don't even go in certain forums because they'll like rip you to shreds for stupid stuff. So I got ripped to shreds because the Neo Geo, I was called a shill for the Neo Geo MVSX, Ralph, stay true to you. We support your work. Thanks, man. I appreciate the super chat. People make weekly content using your all's content. Thanks, How to Bachelor. That's fun. Yeah. So this guy was beating me up because and calling me a shill because the MVSX doesn't output the right what's it called? refresh rate. So when you're playing a fighting game, the characters will flicker at the bottom, which they do. They do that. If you have an MVSX, go to it, play Samurai Showdown 2, and you'll notice the shadows underneath the characters flicker. They flicker really fast, but they flicker. It's not supposed to do that. In this one, the real arcade, it doesn't do that. The shadows are real shadows. Well, this big blue front end guy gets this gigantic boner about this issue and like puts it on me that I'm like promoting something that's a big honking steaming pile of monkey shit. He says that. And I'm like, dude, I don't like, and then I go back and watch Metal Jesus videos, Mad Little Pixel videos, Scarlet Sprites videos. I watch everybody that does Neo Geo, and every other device on the planet that emulates Neo Geo, like that's been sold, does that. And this guy just has a bone zone for me. And I'm like, dude, get out of here. Like, I felt like what I really see, like, I'm not East Coast anymore. Pitbull knows this. I grew up in the East Coast. I used to not give a shit. I used to be like, yeah, screw you. That's what I'd say. If someone said that, I'd go, big blue balls front end. You're stupid. Shut up. Like, and I'd be done with it. And I'd let him go talk his smack. And you know what I mean? I'd be like, big blue balls, shut up. You're stupid. I got meaty thighs. I'll squeeze your head with my meaty thighs. But I don't do that anymore, because if I do that, I'm toxic and negative, you know? Because, you know, in 2020, man, you don't say anything about it. Don't say anything bad about anything, because you're toxic and negative now. You're the toxic negative guy. No one wants that. No one wants to watch that. Everyone wants rainbows and lollipops. Everything's got to be beautiful. Nothing can be bad. So anyways, it's just like, I just want to be real again, man. I don't want to be like, I feel like so constricted, man. It sucks. It sucks. I feel like, oh my gosh, Overthink Gaming isn't here. I love that guy. You know what? He's brutally honest, but I love it. Like, I feel like I'm going down a path. I feel like if I keep going the direction I'm going, I'm going to be on one of Overthink Gaming's videos. I'm going to be the douchebag that Overthink Gaming talks about. Yep. If I keep doing the things the way I'm doing, I will be on Overthink Gaming's video, and I will be like, yeah, I deserve that. Because I don't want to be that. I want to be how I used to be. I feel like I'm like different. I don't want to be like a product of what YouTube wants me to be. But it's so, when you, the problem is here. This is the problem. When you get too close, oh God, Justin's going to kill me for this. When you get too close to any of the manufacturers, they suck you in. Right? There are literally channels that are just like the One Up Weekly, but doing the opposite thing. I don't think we want to be that, though. I like Arcade One Up. I like the people that work there, but I think we're getting too close. I probably just screwed everything up, Justin. I'm sorry, but we got too close, I think. Man, you're gonna kill me. I shouldn't have energy drinks. You get too close. You know who says it all? Retro Ralph is dead. All hail real Ralph. You know what's crazy though? All right. This guy doesn't like me for whatever reason, but I'll say his name. He doesn't like me. He doesn't like really anyone, I don't think. But I respect him, but he doesn't like anybody. Mad Little Pixel, I think, hates everyone. He doesn't hate everyone. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. He doesn't hate everyone. I think he doesn't ever want to align with anyone else. And he does that for a reason. And actually, I understand his reason why. Because the more people you wrap up in it, it becomes so much more harder to do what you want to do. He doesn't do it because he dislikes other people. I think he does it to avoid drama. He's like, look, I'm just going to be myself. I can do what I want. I can say what I want. And it's actually a really good strategy. I don't think he legitimately hates people, but I know he's blocked. If you mess with it, if you say something, it's like, and he thinks you're going to be drama, I think he just blocks you. He's like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I don't have time for your bull crap. Like, he's like, I'm done. And so I don't know. He does do that, but on the other hand, he's gotten really buddy with At Games. Now I feel like I don't want to like go into a territory where I look like I'm trying to cause drama with him. But I would definitely not have ever suspected he would get as close as he is right now with at games, because it seems out of character for him. That's all I'm going to say. It seems out of character for him to get so close to a company, because he doesn't get close to any of them. But anyways, that's just what's going on right now. So anyways, I don't know what else to say, but I've gotten too close. And so therefore we need to figure out what's going on with the One Up Weekly, and that's what Justin and I are going to do. And I probably blew the whole thing up in this episode, but hopefully I didn't. Hopefully it's salvageable. No, I'm not saying he's shilling. I don't even know. I don't even know. The definition of shilling could be anything, right? It's like shilling could mean I got a product for free. You know what I mean? That could be you're being a shill, right? I don't know. I think shill, the term, has gotten like really out of control in how it's used. So How to Bachelor, Mad Little Pixel hosted at games recently. Hosted. Oh, hosted. Yeah. I saw that he did. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's not, there's no problem with getting close to the companies. I just feel like you don't want to get too close. And that's his own advice. I learned that from him. I used to watch his videos. He did a video when he hit 100,000 subscribers, and I think he even said that. He's like, don't get too close. And I do think, because here's the thing, right? None of these companies are gonna hire anybody. Like, they're not gonna hire me. Why would they? They get this for free. Unless I was like, you know what? I'm not doing any more shows unless you pay me. And then they're just gonna go to the other show. You know what I mean? Like, they get free stuff from us. Them giving you a cabinet, that costs them nothing. And then you just go and and then you're gonna kind of sort of feel obligated to only say nice things, right? You'll say some softball things about the buttons, the joystick, whatever, like little things that wouldn't prevent someone from buying it, but it does influence you. Like, I'm sorry, it does. It influences you, because the thing I'm so glad about, I'm glad they started giving me the cabinets after they started making improvements, because before I used to really beat up on them and they wouldn't have given me crap for free. So when they finally got to the point of giving it stuff for free, a lot of the issues had been worked out. So thank God. All right. So Bob says, not shilling. How about sellout? I don't know. I don't know where the line is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just weird. Anyway, I know this is a weird conversation. It's one of those things where I just don't know. Like, I don't know where the lines are sometimes. I don't know. It's like you want to stay true to yourself. And I think the problem is, the closer you get to one or the other, you will start to feel that squeeze. And when you start to feel that squeeze, things start to change. But anyways, all right. That is all I have, really. I know this was a crazy episode. I'll probably get heat somewhere. You want to know why? Because people will take sound bites and they'll just cut it up, and then it'll be something that it isn't. But hopefully, if you watch this in its entirety, you know what I'm saying. I'm going to try to take a little, I'm truly think I need, from a mental standpoint, a break from YouTube for a little while. We'll probably do the One Up Weekly. I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out. But Justin and I are going to figure that out. We're talking today. We'll figure out what we want to do with that. But my plan is to continue to make content. I just think the frequency needs to be reduced for a lot of things, just to kind of create more balance between my family and the things that really matter in life. Because guys, I'm not getting paid to do this outside of ad revenue and free product from time to time. And that's not enough. You know, you can't, if you get sick, you can't take your Arcade One Up to the urgent care and go, hey, I think I have COVID symptoms. Can you help me? Here's an Arcade One Up to pay you, or whatever. Maybe that's a bad example. Or I have pneumonia. Here's my Arcade One Up cabinet. Will you take this as insurance, please? Oh, Cobra's $800. Well, this Arcade One Up was like $500. Oh man, but it's resold. It looks like there's like oil on it, and one of the buttons is broken. I'll give you $100 for it, so you'll still owe me $700 for your healthcare. I'm just kidding. I'm being stupid. All right, but guys, check this out. I'm gonna run this really quick. This is a project I'm really excited about that I am doing with Arizona's Arcade Heroes. I'll run it really quick, and then hopefully you guys will enjoy this. This is something that's pretty new. I'm excited. We're going to have the first episode edited probably in the next couple weeks, but here it is if you haven't seen it. Phoenix, Arizona, a hot spot for video arcades and arcade parts. We're going to hit the highways and find out where arcades are buried in people's houses and garages. What most people see as junk, we see as dollar signs. We'll buy anything if we think we can save it or sell it to someone looking for that lost arcade treasure. Everything we find holds a unique place in arcade history. And the people we meet, hearing their story, is part of why we do this. We make money telling the history of arcades. One pick at a time. Arcade Pickers, coming soon. All right, that's it. That'll be coming soon. So just so you guys know, a little background on that. That guy's name is Flynn. His house was crazy. I mean, talk about if I brought... the cool thing is in this first episode, we go to his house. So you will see some crazy stuff. It's really, really fun. Now, keep in mind, this was low budget, this first episode. We literally didn't have a camera person. We were using Corey's son as the camera person. So there's some inherent problems with that because he's 12 years old, but he did an amazing job. He was a trooper. He hung with us the whole time. He took direction really well. And you know, I thank Corey for letting his son do that. But yeah, we're gonna edit it. It's gonna be what it is. You know, maybe the first episode is a little rough, but we plan to continue doing them because here in Phoenix there is a ton of people like Flynn who have ridiculous collections of stuff, and some of them have been in the arcade business since the early 80s, and so they're sitting on tons of crazy stuff. Like one thing that we saw there that was awesome, he had a pretty pristine Robotron 2084. However, it had a little problem, which you'll find out about in the episode. But anyways, guys, I appreciate everyone joining. I really do appreciate the support. I guess if there's a moral to this story, I went away from what really mattered and why I enjoyed this hobby, and I feel like I'm being squeezed, and I don't like that. And I know, you know, I don't know what the end game is, right? You know, if anyone thinks you're gonna get on YouTube and then you're gonna go work for one of these companies when you promote their products, more likely than not, yeah, they might sign you up for a contract or something, but like the money that's going to be made in it is not enough to support your family. And I feel like my family is taking a back seat to something, and that's not really right. So that's why I'm going to take a brief hiatus here for a little while. I'm going to work on a bunch of projects and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to film them. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I want to work on a bunch of stuff, decompress, spend time with the family, and do that. The One Up Weekly I'll kind of keep you posted. Just assume there's going to be an episode this week, but Justin and I are going to talk through that. So I really appreciate all the support. I'm not going away. I'm just taking a brief break. All right, and by the way, that episode, the Pickers thing, that's something that will be happening. So you should look forward to that hopefully soon. But I definitely want to say thank you to everyone. I saw the Hylo team in here, our Neo Severa. I don't know if he's the Hylo team or just someone that represents it. So, you know, thank you for that, for your support coming in here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for Overthink Gaming. I hope one day you don't have to make a video about me, but you never know. I think, who else was in here? Level 1 Online was in here. Thank you, buddy. How to Bachelor is in here as a moderator. I appreciate you. Justin, my buddy, one of my best friends. Appreciate you. Kongs Are Us in the house. Mike Labinski. He's my second boyfriend. So sorry, Justin. Mike is my second boyfriend. So I do have two of them. And I guess Arizona's Arcade here is going back to bed. All right, guys. Take care. Oh, wait. You know what? Damn it. I didn't do my music. What the heck is up with that? All right, guys. It's final thoughts time. Don't sell yourself out. Don't do it. All right. That's it. I don't know what else to say. We will see you on the next one. Oh, that's wicked creepy. See you on the next one. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one.